Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Intro to Web Development. I'm your host, Creative Builds. In the last episode, we got hands-on experience with basic coding for web development. Now this time we'll be adding to that experience and we'll be focusing more on styling the page. If you haven't checked out the last episode, make sure you do, as you may not know where we're starting from. If you have, let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is add an ID to the h1 tag that we already have. Head on over to the body part of the script and look for this tag. Simply type ID equals title, and there you go. This will help us stylize the page more easily. But just the ID alone is not going to change anything for our web page yet. Let's swap over to our CSS file and make some changes there. First, let's change the background to a lighter color by replacing our hex code with this one. So now we went from a black background to more of this tannish color. Now let's just turn this little snippet here into a comment, as we don't need it for now. You can comment out whatever you select in the editor with Control and then slash. Here's what the page looks like before, and here's what it looks like with the hex code changed. Let's get to the title section of our CSS code. Make sure to put a hash sign to indicate that it's an ID. If we wanted to use a thing called a class, we would instead use a period here, but we'll get to that in a future episode. Okay, so after we type out that title ID, let's add an open and curly bracket to enclose the whole section. Also, it's important to note that because we called this title in the HTML file, that's why we call it title here. If we called it like something ID equals lollipop inside the HTML file, we would instead be using hashtag lollipop to reference that element. For the color, let's use the RGB format, as I find it easier to visualize how the color is supposed to change. So let's just put this over here. We'll start with color, RGB, 129825149. That should give us a nice purple color. Lots of red, little green, lots of blue. Don't forget about your semicolon. And here's what it looks like with the saved changes. Here's something new for you guys, margins. First of all, let's walk through a simple explanation of what margins are. It's a simple and straightforward definition. CSS margin properties are used to create space around elements. Think of your elements as if they belong in a small row of houses. Each element represented by a house, and the spaces in between the house are your margins. Sounds understandable enough, right? So let's try putting this in. Margin left, 100 pixels. What do you think this is going to do? Well, when we use this margin, our content gets moved sideways by pushing itself from the side. If we were to use margin top instead, it would move down as it pushed from the top. You can also use negative values to make your content move the other way. So for instance, if we had margin top negative 100 pixels, our content would move up 100 pixels. That's because now it's getting pulled up instead of pushed because we're using a negative value. If you tried that now though, it would go off the page and you wouldn't actually see the text. Some people may find this confusing at first, but I will highlight the margin area using the inspector tool to visualize the move over. Now, I'm going to be using the browser Brave for this example, which is based off of Chromium. You can find more information on it down in the description below, but the tool I will be using in it can be found in some form on almost all browsers, so you don't have to worry about using the exact browser that I'm using. Alright, I've gone ahead and opened up our web page in Brave. First thing you'll notice is that the position of the text has changed, and this is because of the margin we added. If you're using Brave, press Ctrl, Shift, and I to open up the console. Click on the Elements tab in order to view the HTML live. If we press Ctrl plus Shift plus C, or click this button up here that looks like a little cursor in a box, then we can select an element. As you move your cursor along the page, you'll notice that the page changes colors. This is the element you currently have selected. It may have a tooltip like the one on our title here that gives some extra information. You can see the width and height, color, font, margin, and more. Now notice the orange area around the blue area. The blue area is considered the actual element where its content resides. The orange is the margin. Keen eyes will have picked up that we only added margin on 2 sides, but now there's margin on 3 sides. That's because some HTML elements will have CSS added to them by default. If you want to get rid of it, you can override the original CSS by adding your own. But let's say that you want to edit this page without having to go through the hassle of editing your file just to test some new CSS. Well, luckily for us, we can edit the CSS within these panels here and even toggle on and off certain properties altogether. Mess around and remember to have fun. I hope you enjoyed and learned from this video. Stay tuned for more and don't forget to join our community by subscribing. Until the next episode, keep learning, keep coding. New episodes come out at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday and Wednesdays.